Thank you for coming everyone. Court is now in session. I would like Sonic God 77 to come over here with the evidence.
Here it is, sir. The evidence you need is right here.
Perfect. They should be arriving for now. Well, what do you know? I was expecting you would show up so far.
Oh shit, not good.
Alright. I will start off with Adolf Hitler, the one who is behind all of this and caused chaos. Adolf Hitler, you are now being convicted on the following charges, and this says you have revived Fluttershy's rivals, Nicole's rivals, Juliet's rivals, and Sonic's arch-nemesis. This also says that you've captured Fluttershy, Nicole, and Juliet, and sentenced them to death, which is called the nightmare punishment. What do you have to say for yourself?
Nun ja. Ich habe sie gerade wiederbelebt und mein Team gerufen, diese 3 Gören zu jagen. Erstens bin ich mit Goanimate-Logik aus der Vergangenheit gekommen. Meine Armee, mein Clan und der Rest meiner Bande haben sie gefangen genommen, damit wir ihnen eine albtraumhafte Strafe verpassen können, nachdem ich 1945 versagt habe.
Let me guess. Your army is called the Nazi Party from Germany. Is that so?
Richtig. Die Nazis sind mein Clan. Niemand sonst hat mich gefilmt, weil ich sie zurückgebracht habe. Bis diese Gören aus dem Gefängnis und der Hinrichtung entkommen sind.
Are you fucking kidding me, Adolf? So you're the one who is behind all of this, reviving those cocksuckers? You really think that child abuse to my very best friends would actually teach them a lesson? Oh, your sorry ass is still going to get fucked up right now when you are sentenced to death at last.
Calm down, gotcha Club Seth. I know you're mad at him for what he has done. I'll also agree with you when everything is settled.
Wie könnt ihr es wagen? Du habe keine Ahnung, wer er ist. Mein Clan wird euch allen wirklich davonlaufen, also wird...
Shut the fuck up, Adolf. I already know who he is. He is still mad at you for all the chaos you've caused. Also, you're not giving them a nightmare punishment because they're safe. King Malbert and Great Gull. You are now being convicted on the following charges, and this says you took over malaria, and being so rude to the little puffin named Una. I also heard you summon Sonic's rivals to stop him from saving his friend, and tried to attack her for no reason. What do you have to say for yourself?
So you don't say. I did the right thing to take over because I'm still the king. Then one person, which is named Igor, the one who framed me, that I created the storm clouds. For him, he's the toughest of all. He can abuse any puffin whenever he wants to. He's the greatest friend of mine and you know it.
The storm clouds? Using a weather ray to cover the sky with storm clouds? And he is the toughest too? Wow. You guys are so traitors and liars and you know it.
Igor's the traitor. I'm not. He does not have proof and my friend will smash you all.
Shut the fuck up, King Malbert. You're the one who lied to everyone who made this cover-up. Also, Great Gull is in handcuffs so he will not destroy everything. Alright. Velvet and Mrs. Tweedy. You are now being convicted on the following charges, and this means you stole one of Branch's older brother, Floyd's soul to enhance your vocals. This says that you're about to prepare a massacre by killing most of these chickens and make cash out of it after selling out your products. Also, I heard that you already took Poppy and Ginger hostage for no reason before Adolf captured the remaining kids to custody. What do you have to say for yourself?
So, you finally guessed it. Me, along with my disowned brother, did the right thing so we can improve the whole town. I also have all rights to take her hostage whenever I want to.
I agree with Velvet. I have all rights to kill every other chickens and turn them to fresh pies and crispy nuggets. Plus, I took Ginger hostage before we got back to Adolf.
You ladies are so insane right now. Your disowned brother told everyone the truth that you're a fraud. And your company is a complete bankrupt since Ginger saved the day.
Just save it. I am not a fraud singer. I could enhance my vocals so I can be rich and earn lots of money.
Shut the fuck up, Velvet. You are the one who became a fraud after attempting to steal Floyd's soul. He's fully regenerated by the perfect Bodily Harmony.
Don't you dare talk bullshit to Velvet like that. She has all rights to steal Lennon's soul. And I'll still earn more cash no matter how many chickens.
Shut the fuck up, Mrs. Tweedy. Your company is still bankrupt and you lost everything. You're no longer having rights to steal anyone's soul, and kill more innocent chickens. Roku Kun, Rosie and Kuromi. You girls are now being convicted on the following charges, and this says that you allowed child abuse on your older brother, Caillou Anderson. This also says you turned against Hello Kitty and performed police brutality. Plus, you both took her and Lily hostage and got away. What do you have to say for yourselves?
For your information, Caillou from my universe is a big-time troublemaker. He has caused trouble and always deserves to be grounded and punished. We also took Lily and her friends hostage for not telling us where her friends are before we got back to Go City.
For me, I am the greatest wizard against all odds. I can arrest anyone who ever done something ridiculous.
This is getting awkward. Arresting anyone from Japan for no reason is the stupidest idea you had. And Rosie, your brother was saved by the French police from Nico D's universe.
No, he didn't. My brother is dead because he already caused chaos in Go City. He deserves to be abused for all the trouble.
Shut the fuck up, Roku Kun, Rosie. Caillou is still alive and saved by the French police and you're the one who kept blaming on him for no reason.
Respect to this friend of mine. We both have rights to wreak on havoc and perform the crimes.
Shut the fuck up, Kuromi. Police brutality is restricted in Vegas and there is nothing you can do about it. You're not allowed to have many rights to blame Hello Kitty for no reason. Arkham Knight. You are now being convicted on the following charges, and that means you allowed terrorism by preparing an absolute riot. You were working with a militia, are you? If everything here is true, then what do you have to say for yourself?
So you already underestimated me. I did the right thing to send out many soldiers and hunt them down. We all didn't realize that they escaped from all of us and stayed hidden.
So you're the one who gave Adolf some orders to spawn in front of everyone with surprise? These three friends of ours are terrified because of your minions.
So what? It's their fault that they caused trouble and deserve to.
Shut the fuck up, Arkham Knight. Trespassing and sneaking into them with surprise is not allowed. Many security cameras can watch over one of you while you're using camouflages. Percy, you are now being convicted on the following charges, and that means you allowed property destruction, by destroying one of Penelope's games and being so mature. This also says that you took Penelope hostage for no reason while you're on a chase with her and her friends. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, Penelope doesn't deserve to play her own games just because I hate her. When I first caught her playing, I destroyed it at all costs. Finally, I am prepared for revenge against my sister and my parents.
Come on now, Chris. She can play whenever she loves to. You just can't just destroy her games for no reason. You also don't have the rights to take her hostage like that.
I 100% agree with your father. Penelope's games in the future are now indestructible, that way nobody will ever destroy it. This costs them too much money.
Are you for real right now? Did her games become indestructible again? Oh, just wait until I get myself a chance to break into their house and remove the magic and destroy.
Shut the fuck up, Chris. Breaking into Sonic God 77's house and attempting to break her game consoles are permanently restricted and there is nothing you can do about it. And finally, we will move on to the mastermind and the corrupted judge from Beyond City from one of Junior the Animator's videos. Greg Bargon, you are now being convicted on the following charges, and this means you allowed child abuse to Roku Kun, Elena and Nicole. For what I saw from his videos, this says you framed Judge Brandon by going into disguise as him and done a fake trial. Also, you've allowed child abuse with Adolf Hitler, Nightmare Sonic, Nazo, Karen, and the remaining terrorists. What do you have to say for yourself?
I did the right thing to Justine and Juliet because they have caused trouble from the absolute past. Plus, Juliet just disobeyed the prince's orders and ran away. This could cause her rivals to give her a punishment like the same thing I gave Justine a birthday punishment.
Wow. In the future in his videos, Justine is no longer a troublemaker. She has now learned her lesson and executed her parents during his game's execution.
Really? Oh, I'm so going to get my hands on Juliet one day. Just you wait, I am going to give her a nightmare punishment since
Shut the fuck up, Greg. This ain't no way you're going to give her a nightmare punishment because the war is over. So, how do you guys plead yourselves?
Ich plädiere auf, nicht schuldig. Das tust du mir auf keinen Fall an. Ich habe jedes Recht, jederzeit zurückzukommen und diese Gören fertig zu machen.
Me and the Great Gull will also plead, not guilty. Adolf Hitler.
I'm going to plead myself, not guilty. I'm still a singer and you know it.
I agree with Velvet. I plead, not guilty. My company will make a comeback.
I'm pleading myself, not guilty.
I'll plead myself, not guilty, ASAP.
I'm pleading myself in this court, not guilty. Heil Hitler forever.
I plead, not guilty. You sons of bitches are no match for me. I have all rights to destroy most of my sister's property.
I plead not guilty. Your actions are not going to work against me. I have all rights to sentence those brats to death for causing trouble.
Are you guys for real right now? All the records are shown here, and all of you 10 plead, not guilty? Wow. I don't believe you all. You guys are a bunch of liars and you know it. So, I will call the first person up to the stand. Ryan Santiago. Also known as, the Phantom of Death.
So, you must be the remaining troublemakers, the corrupted judge, and the terrorists I've been hearing all this time. I'll tell a story about them. Chris, Arkham Knight, Kuromi, Greg, Great Gull, Kim Malbert, Velvet, Mrs. Tweedy, Roku Kun, Rosie, and Adolf. Did you really have a lot of nerve to make President Biden mad at you? The US Navy, the Shadow Ops, and the Sentinels got multiple calls from many of Sonic Got 7's friends in his universe that you just revived most of their rivals on the rampage. You guys already know that child abuse is such a huge crime to all of your sorry asses. They also caught you starting a riot while they attempt to search for you. You guys will be ashamed to yourselves. I had enough of your actions. I will now announce to everyone that the 10 terrorists are guilty. One more thing before I go. This is a secret surprise to the judge when the case is over. I'll hand it to him as a special sentence to them.
Thank you, Phantom of Death. I'll announce to them when it's all over. Alright. I will now call Poppy and Ginger up to the stand at last. These girls will now have payback for what Velvet and Mrs. Tweedy has done.
It sure is exciting to blame our arch nemesis as our revenge. This is what I can call out girl powers at last.
You've guessed it right. Our rivals will never again do the exact same thing for as long as we live. Anyways, we will now begin. You don't ever try to mess with the best now that we're back. Velvet, you're still a fraud because you stole Branch's brother's soul.
As for you, Mrs. Tweedy, Ginger already escaped from your barn since 2000, and she already saved all of her friends from being killed by you. This counts to you as animal abuse. Now our very best friend is saved by her Gatra Club friends from the nightmare punishment just because they didn't cause any trouble in Vegas.
You may have won by capturing our friends, but you've lost the war. Your plan has failed. Now I'm going to say this. You and your fellows are now pleaded guilty.
One more thing before we go. Scout should have seen this coming when I was writing on her. He should take a picture of us when the court is over.
Watch a winner in action, pal. Up too fast, just a blur. Maybe next time.
Now for the next remaining persons to be called up. Kid Justine, and Adult Justine.
A few weeks ago, when me, my adult self, Giggles, Bandage Girl, and Emma are walking through the forest, we just saw Lily, Poppy, Ginger, Hello Kitty, and Penelope hostage. The ones who took her hostage was Roku Kun, Rosie, Velvet, Mrs. Tweedy, Kuromi, and Chris. They accused them for not telling where our friends are.
According to the records I'm holding, they all got orders from the worst terrorist, Adolf Hitler, the one who called all reinforcements and started off the rampage. After they captured them all, it was worst of all times. It was bad news I've read. But the good news is they all got back home and kept safe by the orders of the US Navy. You all for real crossed the line for trying to give them a nightmare punishment. You'll be ashamed to yourselves. Me and my younger self shall announce, the 10 guys are guilty. Before we go, I have one more to say. Kuai Liang, the Grand Master, is one of the greatest combats from his clan. We should give credits to him when it's over. Now we'll go back.
Thank you, Justine. And finally, I will call Prince Fluff up to the stand.
Now that I'm here, I shall guaranteed and wish to say that you terrorists are now in so much hot water. GNN and FOX 5 News just reported you and we all found evidence. You, Chris, Arkham Knight, Roku Kun, Rosie, Kuromi, Velvet, Mrs. Tweedy, King Malbert, Great Gull, and Greg, are now caught by the US Navy. Let this be a lesson to you all. And Adolf, your clan is going to be burned alive once we find the juries and the results on your records. Now I'm allowed to face the facts, that the 10 rivals are now guilty. And to give credits to the remaining allies and survivors, our new celebration will now start since victory is now ours at last.
This, my friends, is what I call in the court unicorn power!
Alright everyone. What is the final results with the troublemakers, the corrupted judge, and the terrorists who started an absolute rampage?
Guilty.
And Saul pronounced the 10 rivals guilty. I will announce the revenge sentence. Chris Percy, Arkham Knight, Kuromi, Greg Bargon, Great Gull, King Malbert, Velvet, Mrs. Tweedy, Roku Kun, Rosie, and Adolf Hitler. For Fluttershy, Nicole, and Juliet's revenge. All of you are sentenced to death by execution at Alejandro and Phantom of Death's arena tonight.
Holy shit. They're doing it tonight.
This is not gonna end well. Take it back, take it back, take it back.
Are you kidding me? Execution on tonight? No. I don't want to be executed. I'm just a child.
This is all a living hell! I can't live like this!
Wait! Don't do this! I can't take this anymore!
Oh, du verarschst mich. Wir verdienen keine Misserfolge. Sag lieber nicht, dass es möglich ist.
Well, too bad. This is what you get for preparing an absolute riot and get away with this cover-up. Maybe if you would think of trying to give them a nightmare punishment, none of this bullshit is going to happen. Take them all away.
You finally did it. Thanks for saving us, Your Honor.
With that being said, our sportmate friends told us that my prom is save the date, which means I can celebrate 1 year later.
We're all glad they're finally getting executed thanks to the efforts of you all. We sure do appreciate for your help.
It's no problem at all, girls. You are now safe once again. Anyways, the case is now closed. You're free to go. And I hope you enjoy your prom since 1 year later.